Firefly timings all over the map. And going into game 4, a lot of Naraka to be played. We're going with the tried and true Firefly positioning. WBG facing off versus DRG in Sunwing. Wolves versus JDG. JDG super good at consolidating onto you. ZDI on the Viper looking for the silence coming in. Wu Chen with the LMB looking for the follow-up. Not able to land the follow-up, but the parry coming out from ZK. Peeling for his teammate. His teammate still not able to get out. Now Wolves salvaging the situation. Just wants to hold out, back off. ZK with the pulse sword is going to LMB, faded out, faded back in, send the RMP. Unfortunately for him, it's not going to go up. A nice spiel coming in. Tesla is going to be invested. Now Kurumi with the F3. Can he find some value right now? Smunk is going to salty respawn. He's going back for this. F3 is going to be invested, but nice wait perfectly from JDG. They consolidate perfectly. They get the big kill. Now XEM, just a formality, is going to be consumed by JDG. Woo! I'm telling you, sir, every time I say it, every time I'm watching them, it's just looking really, really squeaky clean.
Yeah, it's crazy too, because we know ZK actually was looking for that F3 Kurumi F to actually just give him that 4 seconds of 99% mitigation. And even with it, the enchant going through and whatnot, still couldn't lock it down. JDG just find these eliminations, and that V3 coming in clutch when finding those Fireflies off the rip. ZK was looking to try to, you know, kind of hold his ground towards it, but they weren't able to kind of force themselves in the upper position for that. But DRG, I mean, they got blue armors. They're already set for mitigation right now, right? 900 health for the armors, but you know, they're trying to just find, you know, whether or not just going for the boxes, the looting, and just keeping from Crow's Nest to make themselves ways towards one Shrine is even event side. But 521 are currently in the Crow's Nest. Yin having the F2V1 for the Viper. The teams, Pampy doesn't have ultimate ready just yet, but you know, Unique has that to stand by in case of anything for them to reposition. We do have into the shipwreck where FPX and OUG are in a position to fight here, and I'm hoping to see what this can come out of, because SS is the first person to engage, and if Azai Raven is the first person to go through, if she burns her F3, I don't know. Ooh. I think that might give an opportunity for the remainder of the teams to kind of work through, because the King is that backup support line.
And this was one of my adjustments, is switching out Kurumi for zipping just because of the burn. But first, WBG versus BBE, piling in over at BBE with the Tessa, with the fan, looking for the verticals, not able to get his Sleepwalker, getting Juggernaut out, but the Zion is going to come out. V1 is going to be popping out. Roy Higi on top of everyone, but the Matarial is going to deny all of that pressure. Now Sleepwalker is going to have his way with everyone by getting Roy Higi against the ropes and taking him down. Now Wu Chen trying to get out of here, but Sleepwalker looking for the kill. They're happy with this one kill. A lot of terrain to be worked with now, but in the background, GG lurking in the shadows, coming in hot. LXM on the Viper. F3, V3 waiting to get in there, but DRG beats them to the punch, able to come in, pick a little bit of WBG, pick a little bit of BBE, and now DRG comes out and is like, wait a second, what is this? Another Viper? It's a whole nother team. It's GG waiting on the outside. Now DRG is against the rope serve.
This is tough. By getting eliminated off of that end, DRG getting those 2 eliminations there too. WBG, A-Shout, whoa, bro. You can't just hide out in the front of plain sight for these enemies, because now DRG, you're like, yo, what's going on here? Double parry coming through here. A-Shout might be making his work. His V2 is available. He's hoping to have this to be enough sustain. The knockback is enough to push back everybody, but I don't know. He's looking for the RMBs. He goes for the double blue focus. A V3 coming out here from GG. They're already coming in here to clean up shop. They heard sounds. They heard a cricket, you know, in the background, and they come through for 4 eliminations just like that, bro. That's tough. Raven, yo, GG, they're taking a book for the third parties, and you know, 6 eliminations so far and enough gold to keep them sustained for the rest of these first couple of minutes.
Yeah, great timing coming out for them, and the Axiom griefing on Wu Chen, his team with the V3, and now griefing the other team completely, just not going down quickly. And the drop down V1, the AC 130 Ning from the top roads coming in hot. ZDI with the stun. You love to see it back here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Morris. V1 Viper is back here to stay. Big stunts, big ambushes coming down. The trees are no longer safe. You better stay out of here, because V3 is falling out of the meta, and JDG showing with this clean execution just what is possible at Worlds. The whole year, V2, F3 was played to try to counter Siphon, then all of a sudden, V1, F2 with Tessa. This 8-second stun comes out of nowhere. Everyone's playing it. Now, you're seeing this Xiphon comp coming out. Now, we're seeing, just like in traditional Xiphon, Kurumi being swapped out. And that was one of my first considerations when I was looking at it, is that Zai really counters zipping. She took a pretty big hit before this glyph ward came out. But she's now back a little bit stronger now that that 20% reduction makes her unkillable. But OUG activating with this Kurumi variation, and OUG's U on the Kurumi. SS is going to come in with the F3, not able to land the first F3, dodging it out, but the response from KLA also dodging around. Now OUG, KLA, the Moonbane team of NBPL coming in with that pocket Moonbane, but great cover and move coming out from OUG, able to peel out, slide and vibe, get out of this situation, and SS with the Zai able to poke his way to victory. And like I was saying, Serve, the zipping ult just not as powerful. That burn damage just limits the potential, but the cleanse from Kurumi, absolutely wonderful, but not wonderful enough. JJH comes in with the third party and absolutely cooks them even within that armor circle. What?
That's the power of, you know, once you see a Moonbane on the map, Gondor calls for aid. Everyone is readily available to see what happens. JJH's Temmie just found that wisp, and they just got deleted through the Kurumi. That's insane. Right then and there, they found the opportunity of third partying in that opportunity for themselves, and it works out. I mean, they're gonna hunt down, but OUG's in the zone right now as they're trying to look for that chance of regrouping outside of the west side towards the shore. In Shadow Jade Mine, TE inside of the Shadow Jade Mine as it comes through. Actually, Shipwreck expands for the shores on the west side, by the way. But that's where the OUG are making their way and rotating out. QGG from KLA, two of the KLA members actually in the zone right now, just hunkering around there. We have Draco Storm for the Spirit Well as it stands to show southeast of the Noble Cave, and with the Rao Yang towards the Servants' Grounds. And this type of positions right now, the type of positions that we're seeing right now is that BBE are right next door to that Draco Storm, or for that Spirit Well. If they want to make sure that they have better opportunity, right, they would do what GG did into round one. They would delay the pickup of the buff, or they would delay the pickup of that Spirit Well as long as they can, just because then they can actually just wait for the opportunity of popping that for the Romy Yang teams to win the Romy Yang, or to the extension of relocating if a third party is there, they can finish up the job of picking up the buff and just go on that aggression route. And I think that's also, you know, it's a good ploy, Raven, where it can like turn the tables, where a team thinks you just started doing the Spirit Well, but at the end side of the point, you're already finished it on the job. Like you just do it on the spot where they don't realize it.
Yeah, it's a really, really good trap play, like you were saying. And Draco Storm with the buff, that extra duration, I've always loved Draco Storm for that regen, for that AoE damage, and just from how aggressive you can be. It was the first buff really introduced to the middle game of Naraka, spicing it up. It ended up being a little bit too spicy and too dominant, just overtaking the blue buff and the Vermilion's res buff. There was no reason to take it, so they really had to nerf it, but they brought it back to that same duration. And we're gonna see the Draco Sword being fought for right now, 5-2-1 versus BBE, foreign on foreign. Both the Vietnamese teams going at it. Fire ultimate gonna be invested, but 5-2-1 has the edge in the Viper. Ditto V1 with the Invis is gonna take that. They're gonna take down their brothers BBE, but JDG coming in hot with the flank with the V3 from the Tessa, catching everyone. Unique is gonna have to port him out of the situation. Unfortunately, he does get staggered right now. They want to fight for this till the very end, and JDG actually gets forced out of the situation, but FPX with the fourth party comes in hot, taking down everyone. GG again with that slow, methodical play, just having their way with everyone. But FPX has something to say about this. Fifth party, sixth party, it's just a festival. And the drop down, Nick from above. Viper stun coming in hot, Serve. Everyone staggered. So much action in this Thunderdome, in this Spirit Roll. Everyone wants this Draco Storm.
You know, JDG's DDI is like Batman. The planning is impeccable for these stuns that happen twice, and then one match is crazy. But we are going to see the V3 be utilized again from Tutty. We're going to see ZDI actually being in a low-no spot, being caught out here. 17 S finds the elimination. QGG is in a spot right now where he has to pop as a Zai, has to find one target to lock down. He's gonna look at 3-3-0. He knows that Wu Chen does not have a port. That was how that team got out here in the first place. In the midst of all his action, though, how can you keep track if there's so many of the same characters to be played in the one type of fight? Unless you can utilize and seeing about the abilities being used by their teammates, that's when you can kind of fire that one out of the chamber. But OEGU finds a kill against TE Han. KLA are going to reign out here victorious for this spear whale capture. This is a Draco Storm that's really held out for the longest duration of time. So for them to get this for 3 minutes, it could buy them enough time before Roma Yang even to the spawn point. We're going to see OUG actually finding another spear whale, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, or out of the Roma Yang, they finally wished out their fight in the Roma Yang. And I'm curious to see that, Raven, because, you know, this team just came out here with 7 eliminations after this post Roma Yang. And the Vermilion's gold Hong Sword for his eye. Ouch. Just big ouch.
Yeah, OEG with the Kurumi variation of this life, and we're already seeing new composition, already new variation of the new composition with Kurumi being adjusted, especially with you playing on the Kurumi. I was watching his Kurumi earlier, like, what can my man not do? Position 1, position 3, he is just looking stellar, and his awareness, his ability, his vision for the field of battle is just exceptional. Now looking over the scoreboard, we still got Wolves 65-point lead. Now they're only going to be able to take 9% of this into the 4th bi-weekly finals, but 165, they're going for the 200 bomb. They're trying to let everyone on notice that Wolves is here to stay, and they're one of the most consistent teams. FPX at 105 on the Kurumi siphon, doing really well. Now at the altar, everyone's staring off, checking everyone out, just like, are we rezzing here? Are you rezzing here? Who's rezzing here? And is it gonna be kumbaya, or are we just gonna go at it right now? We got Yang Depletion going down. It looks like we're willing to take this duel. All the Yang Depletion ready to set out. We're double checking, we're redouble checking that we're about to get the spare 3v3 for this scrap off serve.
Oh man, the biggest part, I think the reason they came out here is for buying out boxes, just trying to find boxes to break for gold. But this is where it came down towards both of the decision makers between both of the teams. And JJH Godly sees that his teammate Weishan from Flames is proc. LYD will use it in response. We know that this is where things get a little bit interesting. If TE wants to lock down Godly, right now would be the way case scenario. But if they force the Tianhai ult, it's not going to be pretty, because we know this is where it's going to be forcing on the pressure. Godly, though, in response, it's going to activate it. He has a little bit of armor after this ends, but he's going to be in the zone trying to lock down TE Leo. The Justina dashes are going to be trying to get the frozen positions off of Gali, but the meter dump coming in from Zhu runs out of ammo. So he has to lock down Leo with those melee attacks. Han is looking for the freezes. He catches that free freeze reset. He's looking for this chance, but he gets caught into the grab. No double grab for Gali. We're going to see these cannon shots coming out here, and as Han gets launched into the ground, the zone's going to be not going to be what's killing him. It's Wolves. Somehow, some way, Wolves just shows up into the zone. They find the cleanup crew on aisle 7 for themselves and find 2 eliminations into this area, Raven, where I wasn't expecting them to come into the zone this deep in. It's like
and this is exceptional play from them. This is one of the things that we talked about with IDC, the third partying after Yang. You really have to look down at the map and figure out exactly where people are and fighting in zone. And you saw it before these two teams even duked it out. Both of them Yang Depletion, but they're both scouting out just like, hey, this is gonna be a 3v3. One of us is gonna go ahead, but we just don't want to both die. So let's like double check, look out, scout, and make sure the coast is clear for us to have our scrap off. But just when you think it's going to be done, DRG waiting on the outskirts, trapping, and just taking note of exactly where Yang Depletion is and where they can survive. Now going back into Rumble Yang, we're going to get TE versus OUG. TE on the ice pick with this rush town composition, trying to make something going on to the King on the Matari, getting a big burst off on there, but King able to pop at the ultimate, able to sit in the healing circle, able to survive that situation. SS getting cooked by the F1, but the healing circle coming in huge. Now Han with 1 dash to his name. Everyone's really low in the team. He needs to get maximum value out of this. Does get a double dash, but not able to get the damage that he wants to in order to complete this. Now he's gonna have you and the King in a 2v1 situation. Scale rush is coming out from the King, not giving any room for Han to breathe. Overhold's going to come out over and over. Han finally caves under the pressure, flinches, and is going to get deep fried and breaded. See ya later. Bye-bye.
My man's hoping for the best here for the case scenario. SS outside the Roma Yang, just waiting this one out. And it's crazy too, because, you know, we saw TE were able to be aggressive into the middle of that fight, in the beginning into the middle, but then once that Weishan ultimate just like dissipated, there was nothing that's going to give them more, position of uh-oh, rather than losing that extra HP increase. And you're getting caught out there is one case, but OUG, we know how they perform. They do really well across the board. A Spearwell fight though for GG against BBE. The V1 stun could be massive here, but we don't know whether or not 330 is getting the team out here. If it's necessary, they're not going to be needing to do so. A double Tesla enchantment coming out from CJS that could force out BBE's Fat Milk's ultimate for the Wu-Chen, and this Spearwell is still in play, but 521 are also in the vicinity. KLA could come in here to sneaky, kill everyone off in sight with their Siphon comp, but of course, it really comes through now that there's a Draco Storm Raven. I think GG has this in a way of being aggressive as fast as possible.
Yeah, Draco Storm on a Viper composition is definitely the last thing you want to see in front of you, because not only is it impossible to kill them, it is for sure impossible to kill them with the Wu-Chen. You can't even really get a double grab versus him unless the Wu-Chen makes a massive mistake, just doesn't press buttons, doesn't press F, doesn't press his ultimate, just never really press button, like takes his hands off his keyboard. It's the only way that that team is ever going to die, so they get a free rundown to chase you down in this situation. I would even say that Xiphon would still have a hard time versus an F3 V3 Viper with Draco Storm, but on the outside we got DRG, everyone working their way in, and just like game one, serve 32 people alive. We're playing slow. We're easing in to our Morris strategy. We just want to make sure that we're locked in the timing attacks of all these Fireflies and everything, the mid-game timing attacks with the Fireflies and these rotations. There's just a lot more terrain and foliage, trees everywhere for these surprise attacks from Vipers to come in, and all these teams, you can see their hesitance to get their offense going into this game 4.
Yeah, and a lot of pushes coming out here into the zone. Ben getting eliminated out here. One of the few teammates left for BBE into this round. GG finding their 7 elimination. A lot of things come out to Morris Isle, where it's either going to be a position of hold the high ground, be king of the hill, I should say, or just duking it out and try to keep yourself suspended with grapples alone. And for final fights with 30 players still left alive into this final 13 minutes under below, it really does come down to who can take utilization of taking the gear that they have and making it last, or even having the benefit of a shop nearby. We make mention of the new shop being available for every single one of these players, where they can take their team's gold, amass it, buy the best jades they can find, buy the best jades they can hopefully get, or they can buy those outright jades. And that can really switch up the way these teams can start to be safe, right? Because we've seen Merciless Havoc, Raven, right? Where Merciless Havoc, Aurora Burst, 2, jades, where it causes, a lot of suspension for someone to be locked in when they are hoping that it didn't happen in the first place.
Yeah, DRG, Wuxen, Exi, WFZ. I want to see another Yang fight for this second Yang. A lot of teams are scaled up, playing this really, really slow. And when you're on this Morris and you're on your Siphon composition, a lot of the times, the bottom half of the lobby doesn't play Siphon into Holleroth because they don't want to really run that mirror matchup into the strongest teams. You got GG, you got OUG on Siphon. That's not really a fun matchup when you know exactly where you're in hierarchy. Now, on the second map, Morris, where both those teams have already used their Siphon, now going to the Yang sounds a lot better. Now there's a high chance that you're going to run into a Viper comp as well. So as long as you survive the burst, you can make it through. Now, there is a Transformers team walking around. There is a Sandformers team walking around. But Takeda, and the way Takeda's matchup has evolved throughout this last year and a half, we got answer to all those things. So playing this second half Siphon has a huge advantage going into the realm of Yang with 31 people alive. I'm excited to see also what Wolves can do if they get their monk to this end game. Like JJH has already fallen on the Sandformers, so we're not going to see that monk there. Can we see that magic like HLG was able to pull off at Jacob? Will Wolves' monk be able to survive against all of the rest of the lobby as a solo monk? Well, technically JJH Godblade is another monk in the lobby, but all of his support is dead. All my friends are dead, and we just got to make this work. We got to secure that placement. What do you think Godlay's percentage is? If you were a betting man, what percentage do you think Godlay has to make it to this end game?
13.8%.
13 point. That sounds pretty reasonable. I like this. I would take the under for that one. It's looking cooked for my friend.
Yeah, I think one thing also is that with Godly having now he had to use ultimate. He can still kind of hold off and just being, you know, sneaky Sly Cooper. But the only problem is that once we start running into these bell rotations for players to just lock down a ping, right? They can find the nearest 3 enemies in the vicinity now. But the other thing is that they can also look into the back of their head, like who else is there around the area. And if they find a solo player rather to the extension of in the vicinity, they'll look to try to rotate towards them. As long as the team that got belled doesn't want to be on the aggression of just running this through, it would be the case. But Godly running into GG, not his best case scenario, but they see a 10 high and they don't know whether or not he's the last one, but there's a lockdown from the grapple sackers. Godly looking for these RMBs. It's not looking like a lower percentage rate. It goes downhill. We're going to see Godly lock himself into the ravine, and an uppercut from LXM there. Raven just gave himself, you know, that extra elimination for the team.
The pit of death, the pit of commitment. The second you get hit into this pit in Celestia, it's looking cooked. You can't get out. Buttery rocks are a scam. It feels like you can make a lot of moves, a lot of plays, scale rushing up and down, but you end up just getting juggled forever, and you can't hold blue to prevent stacker. We're seeing him go down now. Second Realm of Yang is going to be coming up right now. Wolves posturing to go in. Now, if I'm Transformers and I am this juice EG, we are going into the Realm of Yang 100%. That's definitely what I want to do on this, but unfortunately, we will be transitioning this end game. 30 people alive, Wolves EG on the Monk and the Gold Spear. If the double grabs be grabbing, we're going to be doing big damage off each clap. That's going to be 2 kills every single time. Every single time we're seeing WBG's Axiom. My man Axiom has been on my mind all day, sir, and not necessarily for his excellent play, but his play of just how mortal some of these pros can be. The V3 coming out and his ability to grief the other team in a 1v3 situation, investing his ultimate in an unwinnable situation, getting that team focus fired by GG. Just WBG showing up, doing some hilarious things. And now I'm wondering what's going to be the strongest comp in this like Spirit Well situation. Is it Transformers? Or is it Viper? Is it the new counter comp? We're seeing science being done right now here, sir. Can Transformers hold on to this?
It's tough because now we got to see Wolves. They're able to pick up the gold armor for ZK, who's able to get himself back off there. But we are going to see how much these other teams are wanting to engage upon B. Now we're looking at CG or GG. CGS is getting these Tesla chance like no problem. He can't even have an ultimate cast because everyone is meter dumping to EG. The way Sean tries to go for the ultimate, the F3 is coming up from the Kurumi, and it gives EG just enough time while ZK is down as the final haymaker for giving his teammate enough sustain to come through for an ultimate cast. It's up to Zem now to deform and having to look for these reses, but no one is letting this one up, Raven. Everyone is looking for it. He gets 17S, but you can see 5-2-1 are meter dumping as fast as they can. This is not going to get enough time for EG with this R&B hold check. That's exactly what Pampy was looking for. Zem is the only teammate alive for this Transformers comp to still be into the game. He's the way Sean. We can hopefully see him last for this maker, but there's 20 players. I cast a curse to him out, Raven. I can't keep doing this. Can't keep getting away with this. It's tough.
XCM has to pay for the discovery of your superpower as a caster to be able to will his being out of this existence. And I was saying before, is Transformers one of these teams who can take down a Spirit Well? And it turns out, no, they cannot. Even with that range denial, no one wants to see a Transformer scale up. And we're seeing the attack on Titans come in, descend, hit him with that Tesla. It's only half of the ultimate to kind of probe the waters. And then everyone with a little bit of blood in the water, the sharks to the lobby, everyone descends upon him. Now, going into this endgame, the addition of this 80% Moonbane is what I'm calling it, because it just takes up the middle of this lobby. It forces everyone out of camping in the center on some type of like building or inside of a building, and really it creates all this tension right here on the edge where you got teams to the left, teams to the right. Who's going to be a happy neighbor? And it looks like FPX is not a nice neighbor. They immediately assassinate Fat Milk on the Wu Chen, the lifeblood of this team. And now BBE with a ton of offense, their next play will be their last.
Yeah, Moonbane is it's a grief bane, especially into the extra Moonbane being occluded, but it does create this push, you know, for assertion of area control. If no one is able to kind of hold off on their own because it's in the Moonbane, it's like, okay, what can I do outside of the Moonbane? And the thing is outside of the Moonbane is 14 looking outside in, right? This gives enough opportunity for your team to just, how well can you place this one out? Unfortunately, BBE's Fat Milk, right, getting the first set of eliminations on board. FPX looking to hunt this one down. Dongqi has his blue fan, right? Blue fan, right? You're like, no way. But the fan's RMB is nothing to mess around with. If you can catch someone in that caught into that RMB from that blue fan, even if it's a blue fan, just fan in general, your teammate can come back in here and just create pressure for them. But honestly, right now, like you said, the aggressors are for BBE, but BBE's Roishishi having no opportunity here to use his F ability, correct, because they were looking for it the whole time. They dodged it in this V1 not coming out there because there was no real opportunity for him to do so. He just got locked down just like that, Raven.
Yeah, 5-1 FPX. Cliffside endgame, just buttery rocks everywhere. It's gonna be tough for anyone to survive this situation. GG masterfully holding the flat ground, keeping this one little bit safe to their name, hoping anyone falls into their loving arms for some easy kills. But FBX gonna put some pressure right now, forcing F21 onto them, and now GG on this low gram, duking it out with FPX. FPX probing for some weakness, realizing that GG's able to hold their ground. Nice play from GG to secure that location. Now WBG is going to activate Sleepwalker on the Zai. We're going around, finding some nice value off these whips and chains. Now GG in that corner. Sleepwalker probes over, sees that, wait a second, we can't be over investing in it. Just kidding, we're in there. 330, what's up, buddy? Nice big burn coming down onto GG's 330 from Sleepwalker. Now Sleepwalker up to 30%, eating one soul boon on the bottom of themselves. FPX, everyone finding a little nook and cranny on this cliffside end game. Very, very interesting. Another end game that I don't particularly see, at least in NBPL. I played this end game a lot, but seeing this in NBPL, one of the first times I've seen this exact location go down.
The stone wall is also griefing a lot of teams. If they're trying to disengage, right, they have to cross that wall, and the zone is closing in towards the top of this hill. This is an exact, I call this out, it's a king of the hill situation from what we've seen there. DRG are finding that gold armor for WFZ. Of course, he doesn't have level 3 ultimate for the cast, but he does have this to be available for himself as his sustain is met. OUG are holding off to this side near the Immortal Temple for their position's sake. So for GG right now, it's going to have to be careful about whether or not OUG or wanting to take this one to the field. But CGS having that parry right there, having the chance of picking up that gold weapon, is not being able to do so. So he looks to reposition towards FPX's backline as LXM was getting caught out here for his HP bar. 3-3 looking to use that, utilizing that universal slash, taking it up here from Wolves. We're going to see that universal slash making it work for them, and having that gold set of dual blades is definitely a mark into the right direction. OUG's SS though, caught with a tether. This is where it comes interesting. You said how, you know, Kurumi has better benefit here because she can cleanse the burns compared to Zipping Yings, who don't have a way of cleansing those burns. So for now, OUG, we're caught in the position where we can see SS unfortunately getting caught to the enchant, has to use the F3 like an escalera, looking for the ladder and getting to the sky, and not having much of a chance here to live out here into the top of the hilltop for long. Maybe, Raven, maybe.
Now 21 people alive. Buttery rocks everywhere. Just everyone on a different layer. GG holding this low ground, picking off kills. OUG up to 7 kills, GG up to 11 kills. This end game play coming from GG, just absolutely surgical. Kurumi circle going down. Not much room to work around with on the low ground. Just absolute death on the high ground. DRG raining down cannon shots on the left side. OUG holding the ground as much as they can. Neighbors to FPX, and it looks like OUG and KLA are going to start duking out, getting peppered in from DRG on the high ground. B2 is going to be invested by Zipping. Zyalt's going to come out. FPX's Don Q is going to get picked off. KLA holding this low ground, trying to survive up to 2 kills. Got that gold armor earlier, but on the high ground, everyone's taking to the ropes, taking to the skies, able to get that grapple. But GG making this timing attack with the V3, making their positional play to go over to the high ground, secure some location. But LXM not able to find the look that he wants, trying to get his team to corral up to the high ground. Running into a Takeda though, going into the last leg. LXM swinging for the moon with the gold pole sword. Tessa's coming in late. He gets a kill onto the king. QGG coming in hot. Last sliver of zone back. Everyone swinging. GG still alive. OUG is still alive. FPX still alive. KLA still going. Who's gonna win it out? And it looks like KLA's CZX is gonna hold his ground and take the first, but Team GG with that slow, methodical macro play is gonna secure the first game of Hall Ross.